Now we've talked about how to do a keyword campaign. Now let's talk about how to use an ASIN for an Amazon ad campaign. So I'm going to come over here to Publisher Rocket. This is just going to be a very quick way of me grabbing a whole bunch of ASINs, and I'll also show you the manual way of doing it. So I'm going to click on AMS keyword search. Now we've been looking up gluten-free cookbook, right? Go get 'em Rocket. And then Publisher Rocket is going to automatically pull up in a bunch of keywords for me. Now these are keywords that I could export. I'm going to export this to a CSV, to like an Excel spreadsheet. And then I would copy all of these keywords, and then I could pop them into an Amazon ad campaign. And then separately from that Amazon ad campaign, I have all these ASINs. And ASINs, they just put your product, your book, on the page of this product, of this book here. So if I were to go to one of the Amazon books over here, so let's say gluten-free cookbook for beginners, if I click on it and I scroll down, there's some recommended books. See, books you may like. So as you can see, there's books that are showing up on this page. Here we go. See, explore more from Rockridge Press. Explore similar books. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, is your book showing up by this book, if I take this ASIN. So if I go back over here, and I have access to all of the ASINs by each of the books. So I've got an ASIN here, I've got an ASIN here. Then I could copy all of those ASINs manually and pop them into a campaign. But what's nice about Publisher Rocket is they automatically do that for me. They just collect a big old list of ASINs. So I would say export. Right here, we've got this big old list of keywords and ASINs. Okay. And then when I expand that, then you can see the ASINs here. And then I would just come down here and copy them. And then if I say create a campaign, still sponsored products. And I would title this, gluten-free cookbook, ASINs, daily budget, $10, manual targeting. And I would have a portfolio for that as well. Down only, standard ad. Then I would select my product. Now down here under manual targeting, this is where it changes. So we've been working with the keyword targeting. I'm going to click on product targeting, and this is going to allow me to enter in a list of ASINs that I just copied. So I can click on individual products and say enter list, and then I just paste. Suggested bid, I like to do a low custom bid and then slowly raise it. So maybe we'd say 0.1. Now what you're going to see with these is that the suggested bid is actually a lot lower than it is for the keywords. Let me see if I can find one that's actually recommended. Oh, interesting. None of these are showing up with suggested bids. But normally if you enter in a list of ASINs like this, the suggested bid is really low. I mean, it could be as low as like 2 cents. In fact, I might even want to decrease my bid, because if none of these are showing up, then I might actually be able to get these for a lot cheaper, okay? However, I have found that ASINs don't tend to create as many sales, but this is a really good way of getting cheap clicks, if you will. Now, the other thing that I can do with this is go to categories. No relevant categories available. That's because I haven't selected a product yet. So I'm going to search for categories. So normally if I clicked on one of these, then it would recommend some based on, my product description and the title. But I can come down here and say, and this is literally all of Amazon, okay? I can place my book next to other books, but I can also place my book next to other products. So if I'm, trying to market a book about postpartum health, then I can put it next to other postpartum health products, lotions, creams, pads, whatever it is, right? And so I can look under books, and I could say, well, my cookbook is a cookbook. So I could say add. And if I add this category here, and it just did my custom bid, then my book's going to show up under that category. I'm running ads to that category. Okay. Now, the other option as well is to refine this. And what's cool about this is I can kind of pick which books I'm competing against, if that makes sense. So if I know that my book has a pretty good rating, then I could decrease this here and say that I only want my book to show up next to books or products that are rated 4 stars or less. Because then if my book is standing next to theirs, then my book's going to look really good, right? Because my book has a higher rating. I could also do the same thing with a price range. I could say a minimum price of $12. And if mine costs $11 and it's standing next to all these books that cost $12, then even better, right? People are more likely to lean towards purchasing my book. It tells you how many products are targeted with those 2 search filters. I could change that back to 5 stars, and then we have even more products. You can also pick a genre, make this a little bit more specific. And then I would just click add. And you can do that with as many categories as you want. And it's actually a really pretty cool strategy because you have a lot of control over where your book is showing up. And then again, you would just click launch campaign, which is pretty simple to do. You can do negative product targeting and exclude brands or exclude products. This I don't usually mess around with very much. So that's how you do an ASINs campaign. It's relatively simple. You have your 2 options. You've got KDP Rocket, where you can automatically produce all these ASINs, or you can do some research yourself and go onto Amazon and find ASINs and copy the ASINs from different products or books that you want your book to show up next to.